Complexity is the enemy of execution. Let me paint a picture for you to illustrate that point. Imagine a globally expanding business struggling with scattered data and sprawling spreadsheets. Now, the business lacks a consolidated view or an end to end visibility into the financials and operations. Now, that causes the leadership to divert its focus and struggle in setting bigger strategic goals, which could power its growth in years to come. Ladies and gentlemen, this could be the story of any firm that hasn't yet shifted to a unified enterprise solution, and the cost of this inaction could be too high to bear. So, why the need for a single source of truth? Well, speed and agility is one factor. Organizations need to look at creating a seamless environment with real time visibility to act faster and address the dynamic needs of its workforce and a wide array of partners. Here, businesses need to move away from managing too much IT, even as they become more responsive by using custom functionalities. Now, this improved agility, visibility of cash flows, and ease of application integration is exactly what the cloud makes possible. Another factor, if businesses want to stay competitive, is the need to redefine customer journeys and develop product innovation and operational excellence to grow. Adoption of the cloud can help in achieving all these objectives spanning workforce to partners to customers. Our discussion today will explore all the possibilities that open up when technology brings your enterprise together in making the impossible possible. I'm your host Gautam Srinivasan, and joining me on the panel to share their insights on the power of the cloud ERP from the world of logistics and manufacturing are Kamal Somani, Director at Inland World Logistics, and Nitin Gupta, owner at Exo Footwear. And to get a better understanding of the answers that technology can provide in powering up an enterprise, we have with us Rishabh Devgan, Solution Advisor Specialist at SAP India. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us on this talk. Of course, before we begin, here's a note to the audience watching this discussion. We look forward to receiving a few questions from you on chat, which I could put forward to the speakers at the end of this discussion. So if you wish to ask anything to our experts here today, feel free to use the Q&A facility available on chat, and if time permits, we'll take some questions. All right, let's get the ball rolling. Let's start our discussion by understanding where things stand currently. Kamal, I'll come to you first. Now, implementing an advanced ERP backbone can automate, harmonize, and standardize operational processes. Absolutely. In the context of logistics, do you see it as an overstatement, a possibility, or is it already a reality?
I'd like to answer that with the fourth option. I think it is quite inevitable for any medium and large size business to have a cloud-based ERP, as of today. And I think slowly the small businesses also need to move on to the platform too. I don't want to limit ourselves to saying that it is a possibility or it is an overstatement. I want to say that if medium and large size businesses are not already using a cloud-based ERP, they're losing opportunities to no extent, and small size businesses need to do that as well in the future.
And in the context of where things stand currently in the world of logistics, what separates you from the rest of the players when it comes to using cloud ERP?
In terms of logistics, I think good cloud-based ERP is still lacking to a large extent. A lot of other industries, particularly manufacturing, retail, F&B, have good customized cloud-based ERPs already available. But whereas when you talk about small to medium-sized logistics service operators, particularly in India, they don't have too many choices as of now. So a lot of them, are using their own in-house developed custom-based software.
All right.
Yes.
Rishabh, is that where SAP comes in to provide all these solutions to small and medium businesses who might think, cloud ERP is only for large enterprises and not for us?
So definitely, Gautam, and to add to Kamal's point, this is a changing domain. Like earlier, definitely there has been this mindset among the people that, the cloud ERP is just for the enterprise or, very big kind of companies. It's not for the small or middle-sized customers. But now, with the onset of the global economy and the changes that we have seen, the mid-market or small businesses are the ones which are thriving and which are the next MNCs of tomorrow. So considering that particular point of view, SAP has a lot of offerings that particularly focus at small and mid-sized industries, and we have offerings ranging from industries from manufacturing and logistics, as well as at the core we have the cloud ERP as well, and a plethora of options that support the other solution as a software as a service that can be an add-on to that core as well.
All right. Kamal, what do you think could be the reason that cloud ERP is not, widely embraced in the logistics space? I'll come to Nitin's view on manufacturing, but as you said, manufacturing and other spaces have embraced it in a far more faster and richer manner. What's stopping the logistics players from doing it?
Quite honestly, I think it's a bit of an oversight. Logistics as an industry within India is pegged to nearly worth 200 billion as of now, USD 200 billion. And yet, in terms of the number of service providers who cater to this industry from a software as a service option or as a cloud-based ERP are only a handful as of now. And somehow the pricings, which have been available in the market as of now has been more suited to large organizations in the logistics space versus small to medium-sized operators. And in terms of market needs, I know I can, as an industry player ourselves, I can say that the small to medium-sized logistics service providers make the bulk of this $200 billion market as of today. And that largely remains untapped in my experience.
All right. So lack of pricing flexibility is seen as one issue, but I wonder, as the cost optimization comes in when these enterprises use cloud ERP, whether that could change the tide, change the narrative. But meanwhile, let me get in a perspective from the manufacturing sector and get Nitin's point of view. Nitin, customers today are demanding the best service and the best products in the least amount of time. So in your perspective, how can manufacturing firms transform their traditional business model to a different model and adopt a customers first approach? I want to understand from you, how did you manage the entire value chain to deliver quality footwear? Because as Kamal said, the manufacturing space seems to be ahead in this thinking.
Very good afternoon to all of you. I would like to thank SC and their sponsored partner SAP for inviting me for this panel communication. Customers are always king for us. It is said, but never followed 100%. But now in this competitive world, it is very important for us to survive, to make customer as our first approach. Companies like Amazon, Swiggy, Urban Clap has raised the standard of customer satisfaction so high that if any company not able to adopt to the new technology, they will not survive in this world. So ERP is very good software for improving our response time. Similarly, we need the better communication tools to know the need and the wants of our customer. So in all this aspect, technology is the thing key for any manufacturing sector to reach to the next level. So I think even for the hiring and safety purpose, for hiring the best talent, you need the technology to be partner in your growth.
All right, but you also operate on an ecosystem of partners. So how do you standardize things, bring them on board and make sure everything is harmonized so you can leverage the benefit that Cloud ERP brings to the table? I want to understand which specific points in the value chain have you seen the impact of the Cloud ERP more exponential? Nitin?
Yeah, Gautam, I couldn't hear you clearly.
Sure, Nitin, I'll just repeat the question. So I want to understand how, in the context of the broader ecosystem, considering you also work with a lot of vendors who are part of the system, how do you standardize things to make sure everything from onboarding to payments is seamless? And which points in the value chain have you seen Cloud ERP deliver most value for you?
Yeah, cloud ERP is very important, as you know that earlier we used to have everything on server. So when the things are on server, there is always the issue. But when cloud ERP is there, there is you know that the best software is working for you, and even means there is no human intervention required in that. So that way, as the work from home culture has developed, it's not possible that your technical guy can reach to the office and fix the problems. So if the things are on cloud, it's better for us, and things move without any interruption.
Absolutely. And that explains how you have also expanded the reach of your factories. I believe it's now 10,
Hello.
around 10
Yeah,
factories that you
Gautam, can
have.
you hear me?
I can hear you, Nitin. We seem to be having some sort of a technical issue with your connection, but that's okay. We'll manage with what we have. I was saying that that explains how your company itself has expanded, and I believe you now have 10 factories operational, and you are able to service customers. And as the demand, the rush comes back post pandemic, hopefully, then you could be in a better position to service that demand. From a tech enablement perspective, Rishabh, let me get your point of view on the fact that complete enterprise resource planning system with, say, built-in technologies including AI, machine learning, and advanced analytics. It opens up so many avenues of innovation. In your opinion, what do businesses need to do to adapt well to this new reality and, in a sense, overcome some of the resistance that we have spoken about? As Kamal said, for the small enterprises, they feel that there is not enough pricing flexibility when it comes to using cloud ERP. Dispel some of the doubts that they may have.
Sure, indeed, Gautam. I think a comprehensive and intelligent ERP is the need of the hour for the businesses. If we look at it very precisely from the business's lens, they have realized this now, even more amidst the pandemic times. As Nitin has already mentioned, the person is not able to go to the office and the technical guy cannot troubleshoot the systems, right? There comes the power of cloud, that everything can work remotely without you even moving out. So for business continuity and operational excellence, ranging from the back office to the front office across all lines of businesses and throughout the value chain, a comprehensive and integrated ERP is a must. As Mr. Kamal and Mr. Nathan have already highlighted this with respect to logistics and consumer industry, as a business, if you have a robust cloud ERP at the core, the possibilities are just endless from there. There are truly immense number of ways that you can innovate with new technologies. Ranging from product to process innovations, you can extend your core applications with different services to fit your business needs. And one can adopt intelligent automations to reduce the costs and channel human effort towards decision making rather than these repetitive, mundane human tasks, and can even reinvent breakthrough business models. So now customers know this and they are heavily adopting these offerings. They are all in for adopting technology and replacing these siloed systems or manual processes. So with this, they can get the relevant data and insights right at their hand in real time that can help drive and thrive the business. So therefore, it is no more a question of why anymore. It is a question of when and how soon. So every customer is unique. With regards to that, I'll come back to Kamal's point that it might be a mindset in the market that ERP vendors don't pay attention to the mid market or to the small and middle sized businesses. But then this is not the reality now. We have specific teams and specific products that cater to the mid market demands. And then if you explore those, you'll really come to understand that how flexible this cloud model is. And with regards to pricing as well, it is very adaptable and very flexible. Even the services that you are not using, you don't have to pay for them anymore. It is a subscription model, so the customer has the power right at their hands. So that is where I would rest my case at.
Well, in a sense, I think we're also forgetting that a lot of them don't really see the widespread benefits, because if we are just talking inventory optimization or cost optimization, we're also forgetting that cloud ERP also helps in compliance. And in some of the earlier discussions I've had, we see that the government is far ahead in terms of knowing what the companies are doing in terms of data collection, which means now the companies need, whether you're small or large, you need to keep up with the pace and make sure you're compliant and kind of integrate the compliance layer natively in your value chain. Your thoughts on that, Rishabh, in terms of the value addition? They're not seeing the big picture, and when they do, they'll realize that it's more a necessity than ever before.
Definitely. If you come with regards to the compliance terms, the systems have to be compliant. And if your business is not running end to end in a compliant manner, the government has their ways to observe it. And when you come to SAP systems, particularly, they are compliant with regards to your taxation norms regarding GST as well as other norms. And they are very, very secure with regards to that your particular data that is residing in cloud at the application layer as well as at the infrastructure layer and even at the software as a service layer which you are using from our platforms is extremely secure. So that comes with it. When you buy the bundle, you have it. So the Cloud ERP is the solution and the answer to all the necessary requirements, and even gives you a big picture overview that Gautam has really truly well.
All right, let me take that point forward and come to you, Kamal. You mentioned that it's an inevitability, the fourth option that you chose when it comes to using, say, cloud ERP and technology tools to improve. Looking forward, digital transformation we see today is the way forward to survive and grow in the post-pandemic world. So can you throw some light on how a robust ERP solution helps in making businesses like yours future ready?
So I'd like to address two things. One, I'd like to address the question that you were asking, Gautam. I also like to address some of the things that Rishabh just pointed out. So I'll start with your questions. One, like I said earlier as well, delayed data is opportunities lost. That's the motto that we believe in our company as well. When you're working on manual processes, when you're working on processes that require documents to flow from one place to other, paper documents to flow, obviously that creates delays and it creates data corruption. When I'd like to also mention the fact that we're using a cloud-based ERP for over 6 years now. Most of it was customized on our end. And what we've seen is that if you don't use a cloud-based ERP, it takes a lot of time for employees to complete their tasks. They don't have access to data on their mobiles, which is available with cloud-based ERPs. Regulations and compliances are changing quite fast in all industries and including logistics as well. So not having a cloud-based ERP would certainly not, it would create a hurdle for you to comply with the changing regulations as well. And quite honestly, it is quite difficult to meet customer demands in today's scenario if you don't have a robust ERP. Because, like Nitin pointed out, you have companies like Swiggy or Amazon coming in, and the level of services that they are providing becomes a customer expectation across all industries. So naturally, a cloud-based ERP can help fulfill those as well. In terms of our business, I think, what we have seen is by using cloud-based ERP, we've been able to give faster updates to our customers. We've been able to lower costing for our customers as well through our trip costs or through our vendor costs. We have been able to focus more on what really matters within our core systems, as well as from our customers' point of view as well. There are certain key matrices that the customers look at, which is often ignored by service providers. So a cloud-based ERP helps us focus on those matrices as well, much better. And we are really able to customize our services as per client needs, which we otherwise wouldn't be able to do if we didn't have a cloud-based ERP. So, Gautam, does that answer your question?
In a sense, it opens up the possibilities and serves as a reference point for someone watching when they look at the applications of cloud ERP within their enterprise. But I also want to hear what Nitin has to say, because considering a lot of the smaller players do originate from the manufacturing sector. Nitin, if you could give them a sort of a reference point on how you are, say, using a robust ERP solution in making a business like yours future ready, that will tie in nicely to what Kamal has, given us an example from the world of logistics. Yeah. We want to hear the manufacturing side of the story.
Yeah. You're right. Earlier, most of us in India don't want to invest in the technology. We have faith more in people than in any automation system. Things have changed now. People have started knowing the power of technology. They now know that if they don't adopt to the technology, there will be history. And it's not an option now, it's the necessity. With technology, we can multiply the things very fast, and which is the need of an hour. And ERP, by adopting ERP solution, it's very easy for us as we are growing and setting up more units all around. So if we have that software with us, multiplying the things get easier. And as Kamal has said, that now people have started asking for too much of one-to-one communication. Without having ERP solution with you, we can't able to satisfy them well. So I think we have to adopt those new softwares to come up to the expectation of our customers.
All right. And any feedback that you'd like to provide to the enablers? Because as I mentioned, a lot of demand is going to come back. And we have seen that, digital transformation efforts, which usually would take a decade, have been compressed within this period of 2 years when we saw lockdowns. So as you move forward and then you see this rush of demand, any feedback that you would like to give to the tech enablers who help you with your cloud ERP to make you more robust, to say help you reduce costs, improve efficiency, and increase profits? Any feedback from your side, Nitin?
Yeah, one thing I would also want them to do is to make the software enable to any specific kind of manufacturing sector. I have learned that doctors are using ERP software very well because things has been made according to their needs and wants. Similarly, in banking sector, if somebody want to start something, they have ready-made solution provided to them. But when we are adopting new ERP in new businesses, there we have to go through various changes, and it's a lengthy process. So that's what is painful for a small enterprising, and they always have back in the mind some hesitancy of adopting that. So means if you can come up with ready-made software for specific industry, it is easy for them to replicate and adopt those things.
All right, Rishabh, let me get you to respond. Are there already solutions on offer that folks might not know about? If so, you could shed light on that, and then we could move on to say the primary areas that can benefit from an intelligent ERP.
Sure, definitely. To add to answer Nitin's question, Nitin, we have these industry solutions. So when we talk about cloud ERP, we have specific solutions for every industry. If we talk about your industry in particular, retail and fashion, so we have a vertical in retail and fashion business where we have industry specific modules that are very much in line with what you do in your business. And globally, the customers are using this. So this is not just even for the enterprise customers, this is for mid-market and middle to small enterprises as well, that we offer these solutions, where you have these solutions in line and which will answer your business processes. So the way you have your SKUs, the way you have your manufacturing processes and with regards to your shoe business. So we have those softwares already there, and they are already in line with those. So it's just because people are not that much aware right now in India, like even these solutions exist, but then we need to keep an open mindset with that, and then we need to expand them throughout the country. So that is how we at SAP ensure that we are powering every industry. There are around 24 industries where SAP solutions specific to those industry needs exist, and we have industry best practices as well, which we make sure that our customers adopt.
All right, Rishabh, let me also take it the fact that, if say I'm a viewer and I'm saying I'm sold on the idea of the cloud ERP, but how does it help me stay ahead of the competition? Because at the end of the day, that's what the focus of the enterprise would be. So what are the primary areas that can benefit from an intelligent ERP, and how can it give companies an edge over their competitors and help them survive in this new post-pandemic world?
Sure. So when it comes to an intelligent ERP software, Gautam, it is like nerve center of the business. So if you look at it from the value perspective, the ERP is the main driver of the organization's interconnected processes. So there is not just one department that will benefit from it. It's the every department, it's every system that the ERP will touch. And that is how the business will keep on growing. It covers all aspects of the business end to end, ranging from procurement decisions and streamlining your organization's sourcing needs, then to manage your sales processes, maybe your point of sale systems, multiple sales channels, predicting sales forecasts, then to even connecting your manufacturing processes, product R&D, different type of SKUs, quality assurance, to complete logistics. Then it also covers the financial aspects across all lines of business, maintaining a general ledger, giving P&L insights, managing payments, taxation, and highlighting any outliers then and there across LOBs in real time, so that you can be, you can be on your toes and you can take the decision when the thing is happening, and you don't have to wait and look for data. It naturally comes to you, it naturally comes to your dashboard, and you can act on it. So earlier adopters of intelligent ERP will always be step ahead in the market. It can give you the much needed competitive edge to the businesses and help them sustain in this very agile market. With latest technology in the cloud, they have their businesses, they have an intelligent core, they can take their businesses to any level from there.
All
Like in
right.
manufacturing.
So
Sure.
single view and more analytics, that would be the value that a lot of the folks could see, where it simplifies a lot of the things, but it also gives them a lot more insights into their business. That's the point of view of where things are headed. Kamal, your response to that, how do you envision the digital future of your industry? Do you see a prominent place for intelligent ERP in that future, as Rishabh has outlined? And how do you see it gelling with current systems? Because the future is heading towards more simplified operations with a lot more analytics working in the background, automation coming in, where it kind of leaves the bandwidth free for leaders to focus on where they want to take their business to.
I think what you mentioned here, intelligent ERP, is the next iteration of cloud-based ERP, and that is largely because of integration of AI and ML, machine learning, which helps deliver more insights. In terms of logistics as an industry, I think there's a lot more scope for connected services, which currently isn't being used. There's a lot more scope for IoT applications also, whether it is through trucking assets or whether it is through warehousing assets. There's a lot of scope there in the logistics industry. Even for that matter, even broadcast is also a big scope for logistics service providers, which they're currently not looking at. And one other application which a intelligent cloud-based ERP can enable is use of bots. Today, a lot of customers tend to like to resolve their own issues, and having intelligent bots allows a business to not just help the customers themselves, but at the same time reduce their cost and turnaround time for doing that. So these are the four areas that I see. There's a lot more potential for logistics industries to dive into when it comes to intelligent ERPs, and there has to be a lot more integration with both vendors and customers as well. Sadly enough, logistics industry service providers are quite aloof in that context. They aren't connected to their service providers. They aren't connected to their customers on ERP basis. And I think,
but will that be necessitated as you move or as your reach expands, right? I believe your network now spans over 350. As you head towards more tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 areas, the need to, kind of bring them in the system and make sure you at least have, a sort of a roadmap for harmonization of systems and processes at least kickstarts now. What are your thoughts on that, Kamal?
It does. And a lot of that's driven by cost also, Gautam. Connected services allow any businesses to reach out to any service provider, and that not just allows for better levels of service but also helps reduce cost, which is the need of the hour when it comes to logistics. Fuel prices have been rising, everybody's aware of that, and shipping prices have gone through the roof over the last year, and there's tremendous pressure on price across all businesses, and logistics as a service provider aren't exclusive to that. So we have been trying different ways of reducing our cost, and I think connected services plays a big role into it. I also feel that there needs to be a lot more consolidation, which needs to happen in the logistics industry, because most of the service providers aren't really organized. 80% of the service industry isn't very organized at all. They're not using cloud-based ERPs yet. So I think we'll see a lot more consolidation. There have been new age players which have come in, like likes of Rivigo, Blackbuck, Blowhorn, etc. And they're really helping others getting their act together as well. So,
absolutely. We've seen that impact across in Indian industry, right? Whether it's fintech or whether it's logistics tech, a lot of the newer players with the digital DNA are kind of changing the game. And you're right in a sense that if a majority of the industry is unorganized, it is a sort of a painful approach where you need to bring all players in the systems. But once you do, and they see the benefits, then the virtual cycle kind of speeds up. Nitin, let me bring you in on this point in time. Even the manufacturing sector, whether it's for small and medium manufacturers, a significant part of it is unorganized. You face the same problem. So your thoughts of where this intelligent ERP roadmap could help make the unorganized part of your business be more organized. Your thoughts on that, Nitin?
You're very right that now the things either you need to be bigger or you should not, you should be out of the game. So it's for becoming a big enterprise, you need to adopt to the technology very fast. So I think there is no doubt in that, that there is no option with us to not to adopt the best in the technology available in the world. And that's the only key for success in for future.
All right. And for business continuity, Nitin, your thoughts, because with the new COVID-19 variant Omicron servicing, the pandemic is far from subsiding, it seems. So how are manufacturers capitalizing on Cloud ERP specifically to maintain business continuity and sustain operations in these still uncertain times? If you could tell us about your approach when we look at business continuity management, Nitin.
As we know that because of COVID, work from home is a new culture. And as I have said earlier, that means there are chances that the lockdown might have happened. So in that scenario, it's very important that there is a system working for you who has best in-house software in build with them. And that is only possible in cloud-based software. Secondly, the breakdown on cloud-based is very minimal. So if your software is dependent on cloud, then you have the people best working for you, and the people who are working from home, they can have the, you can say, safety of not going any breakdown for future.
All right, as we head to the last leg of the discussion, here's a reminder to the audience again to use the Q&A facility which is available over chat and send in your questions so that we can take them as soon as the discussion is done. Rishabh, coming to you to bring it all together, in terms of the topics that we've discussed. Let's look at it from a solutions perspective in terms of what is on offer so that it's clear for the audience. So can you discuss a couple of SAP solutions which are helping businesses take game-changing strides towards intelligent ERP specifically?
Sure, Gautam. So if we look at it from SAP perspective, being the biggest global vendor in enterprise applications with an end-to-end solution coverage, we have made sure that no business is left behind. Considering that every customer is unique, and with regards to their journey, their needs and their aspirations, we have a great offering called Rise with SAP that has gained great customer traction as well as adoption among customers in India. This is a cloud-based business transformation as a service cloud offering, which offers SAP S4 HANA at the core as the cloud ERP. Along with that, we have business process intelligence and process mining, which analyzes your existing systems. So it comes with automated tools to migrate your legacy code to S4 HANA artifacts. And then apart from this, it also includes credits to your business technology platform offering, that is the platform from SAP BTP that has a plethora of software as a service options from integration suite, extension suite to intelligent technologies. And then this has different solutions for various industries as well. There are ready-to-use out-of-the-box pre-built APIs and connectors, as well as automation portfolio, the bots that Kamal was recently talking about, that enables not only the seasoned developers, but also the citizen developers and business users to create apps and automations. So Rise with SAP is the real game changer in terms of giving the customers cloud ERP at the core of the business, that too in a very flexible manner. Once they have this solid foundation, from there, the customer can then move on and then can adopt different solutions or services, cherry pick them and see what suits their business. And then cloud gives them the much needed flexibility, scalability, resilience, and a faster time to value. For small and mid-sized enterprises also, we even have SAP Business by Design cloud offering that has gained huge momentum year over year and is still is a great choice for the customers. And as we come to a different note, the human experience management suite from SAP is also gaining a lot of traction. As you know, Nitin has also talked about it. SAP Success Factors is one that has seen great customer adoption in these pandemic times. Like earlier, HR used to be like a specific process-oriented solution. Some customers buying payroll solution, some going for employee management and others. But now it is the end-to-end hire to retire process of the employee that needs to be taken care of. So now we have seen that HR strategy is a very important part of the business strategy. And investing in a good HR solution means investing in your own employees, in their growth, and empowering them with the best growth and learning opportunities, which in turn leads to a good customer satisfaction. And we see great demand from Indian customers in that area. So to sum it up overall, there are multiple line of business solutions that SAP has in different verticals that Nitin was even discussing about. And other than core cloud ERP, we do this for more than 24 industries, and we work with industry leaders globally and empower the customers with industry best practices. So we have it all covered. So now once the customer decides to move to this cloud ship with the intelligent ERP, it is after that they can decide what solution is prime for their business at any given point of time. So we at SAP are ensuring that our solutions empower customers' businesses to thrive in this agile and competitive world and help them run at their best.
All right, we're getting in a lot of questions which touch upon some of those themes that you have discussed, but thank you so much for outlining the use cases. Those are the options on offer. It's time now to take a few questions from the audience, starting with one asked by Kirit Chauhan. His view is that many candidates are not used to onboarding with the ERP system, which leads to the delay in the process of talent acquisition. So your thoughts on that, Rishabh? You discuss on this that you have diverse use cases. In this specific use case, as the problem has been specified, how can you help?
So yeah, to answer that question with regards to onboarding an ERP system, so I think that would be the primary step that a customer should focus on. If you are onboarded to the cloud ERP, then it connects very well with the HR system or any other system very seamlessly. And when you have that connectivity, you have the interoperability between the systems, then the information can flow very easily. And then such lag in the process of talent acquisition, such things will not be observed.
All right. Our next question is around the fact that when you're using a cloud ERP, this comes from Sushil Kumar. His asked question is that when you're using a cloud ERP, do you own the software? What's the clarification when it comes to ownership? So your thoughts on that, Rishabh?
So yeah, you actually own the software. You have a contract with the company. So you're that your software is residing in cloud in some other server rather than your local server. That is the only difference, and that brings a lot of benefits. So one, that you don't have to care about the space, and you don't have to care about the physical servers in your own office space. Moreover, it is there somewhere, and then it is maintainable at remote level. So then that is the benefit. Again, the upgrades at the cloud level are very frequent. So you get yearly updates. For example, with this Rise with SAP offering, you get yearly updates, and then you can use the latest software. And even any glitches or any improvements that are coming in the software, you can take benefit of that. So you don't have to be tied up to a black box that you have bought it, and you are tied up for I don't know how many years, but now you have it on your tips and you are very agile, and as your business expands, you can embrace every technology that is available in the market.
All right. Our next question comes from Sanjeet Kumar Singh. His question is, when you're using cloud-based software, what about data security? Does it help? Kamal, Nitin, your thoughts on this when you're using your cloud ERP systems? In terms of security, have you faced any issues? Kamal, or Nitin, you could go first.
Yeah. So I think if the data is on cloud, this is the safest place to have your data, because you are safe from the viruses which are there all around. Secondly, if anything happens inside your company, those things can be taken care. Like we have a very bad experience 2 years back. We have a fire in the factory and our main server was lying there. So we have lost all the data that time. So thereafter, we thought of keeping all the data on cloud. So keeping all the things on cloud is the safest place to have your things.
All right, Kamal, your thoughts when it comes to data security, especially, you're in logistics, lots of data coming in. So for inland world logistics, how are you ensuring data security?
So far, we've not had any instances, Gotham, where data security has been breached as of now. But it is a matter of concern because a lot of hacking activities are happening. Anybody can hack into your systems if it is not properly secured, and not just hold you hostage, but at the same time your customers hostage as well. So I see how that makes a case to go to a better cloud-based ERP service provider versus trying to develop something of your own in-house.
All right, that makes sense. Rishabh, your thoughts on that, the use of cloud-based software and data security, allay some of the concerns which our folks in the audience have.
Definitely. So that is a valid concern, I would say. I would not eliminate the fact that, data security is not a concern, and it is one of the prime areas that SAP takes care of. So, when you are dealing with the global system and you're dealing with your partners, you're dealing with lots of sensitive data, you're dealing even with governments. So, it is the prime need of a cloud ERP software to be secure and customers' data to be secure. It is the business continuity that this software is providing to your business. And if it is not secure, then it is not valuable to you. So we at SAP definitely take it very seriously, and we ensure that the best security guidelines are applicable, best security infrastructure is available to the customers, and then we also upgrade it very frequently. So that is what I told you the power of cloud is. Once you have a system that you have bought in on premise, right, you don't have that continuous improvement or continuous resolution that comes with the cloud offering. So that is where the cloud ERP fills any gaps that any other software might have.
All right, our next question comes from Alok Pathak. The question is it useful in power transmission in terms of, using cloud ERP? Is it useful in sectors like power transmission, manufacturing, and say dispatch and, supply chain around those areas? Your thoughts on that, Rishabh?
Definitely, it is very, very useful in the power transmission. And, we have some of the greatest power transmission customers. I cannot name all of them, but then, yeah, even in India, even some of the state governments are our customers, which are using SAP software for power transmission. And they have went live and they are experiencing good throughput and good return from the system. So definitely, it is a valid use case from the enterprise, ERP point of view, as well as it inculcates a lot of intelligent technologies as well. So, not just the cloud ERP, but add-on services and other things like the added technologies and predictive systems that you get along with the ERP that you can pair with, that can even tell you the failure timings and predict, when the power might go off. So such things are very easily and very well handled by the ERP systems.
All right. Next one is an interesting one. This comes from Vimal Jain. And the question is that, as it was explained, you get updates on SAP ERP on cloud. And he wonders whether this will not affect the customization carried out in the SAP software to suit the respective user requirement. How will this be taken care of if there is an update of the platform? So your thoughts on that, Rishabh?
So yeah, SAP software ensures very well that it is forward and backward compatible. So that is the prime deal. So we are dealing with such huge software spaces, and we make sure that, when we are upgrading the systems, the customer is not impacted. We do that analysis multiple times before even, creating a product. So, end to end, our systems are robust in that sense that, if one thing is affected, it's not a cause for something else breaking up in the system. So that is the reason that, we can have seamless upgrades, even when, the times like these or questions like these arise, we can ensure business continuity. And that's what, we as cloud ERP vendors offer.
All right, the next one is a bit interesting. Comes from Moria, M. Moria. There is no clear guidelines to select the right product of SAP for small and medium scale companies, and people struggle to understand and finalize the product applicable respectively. So your thoughts on that, Rishabh? While in the panel discussion, we discussed broader issues around pricing flexibility. Here we have a question saying, well, there are no clear guidelines. So how would you like to respond to that?
Definitely. So that question is valid. I would not say that it is not a valid question, because every business is unique and has its own nitty-gritties, its own technicalities. And that is where we as SAP, we bring in industry expertise to you, and we see that what your business is suitable for, and what exact software can solve your business problems. So that is where you need to work with SAP hand in hand. And SAP experts would evaluate that what is the exact software that you might not be able to understand can be to solve your business problems. And even as your business grows in the future, and I'm sure that it would in the coming times. So the SAP software should be scalable and resilient enough to support whatever you have and whatever your business strategy is.
All right, let me also get a response from Kamal. Kamal, how do enterprises like yours make that choice of, going with a particular platform? What do you look for? If you can serve it as a reference point for anyone watching, because as the question was that, there's no clear guideline for small and medium companies, but for relatively larger companies, when they embark on this digital journey, what do they look for in a platform?
So two things. First, it should be able to meet all our current needs. And second, it should be able to point us in the directions which we are not currently looking at. So when we're evaluating a new ERP platform, and we have considered SAP as well, that goes as a disclaimer. Our idea is the things that we are already aware of and we are already doing. We want that to be integrated in our new systems, and at the same time, take some learning in from the software or the platform in terms of what we should be looking at going into the future. So, idea is not to solve the problems of the past alone, but to capture the opportunities of the future too.
All right, Nitin, your thoughts on this? What would you say to this question on what do you look at when you have a checklist for choosing a platform?
Most important thing is I need to check what all in my industry people are using. So that's the first point of selecting which all software I have to consider for my options. And thereafter, as Kamal has said, that I need to see that it should fulfill my current needs, and for future also it should have the capability of expanding my future needs.
That's a very important point. Don't just look at your company, look at the broader ecosystem as well when you make that digital transformation play so that it is interoperable. Our next question comes from Caroline. The question is, can you throw some light on specifically the HR strategy moves that say these cloud ERP solutions offer? So from an HR perspective, Rishabh, if you could expand on what we already discussed. We discussed about onboarding, but broadly, what are the possibilities that cloud ERP offers for the HR function?
Definitely. So when we talk about HR function, I already told, it is not a very specific process oriented kind of solution anymore. It is like the entire hire to retire cycle of the employee. So once the employee is onboarded as into the system, it offers multiple things. And HR is a cross LOB function. It is not a siloed system that operates on its own. So there the human experience management system or SAP success factors comes into play. So it takes care of your learning and development as well as employee needs, as well as employee self systems like payroll and other systems as well. Apart from that, this HR system would also be the piece that connects very well to other ERP modules that you have. So the employee is the front and center of any organization. It is the heart and soul of any organization, if I must say. And people have realized this. So considering that, our HR solutions are very, very good in that respect, that it offers a complete end-to-end integration with regards to whatever the employee needs and the growth and development that the employee needs to foster to make the organization really reach to its customers and be presentable and be saleable and generate great revenue.
All right, last two questions. This one comes from Nitin, where the other question is there any real automation or just say change from on-prem to cloud, like automation of AP processes by reducing manual work to very minimal work? So your thoughts on that, Rishabh?
Definitely, we have automation services. As I have talked about that, we have a business technology platform and we have robotic process automation, to name one of them. That is a process of automation in itself, and the customer can even use a lot of pre-built bots that go in line with the ERP processes, where the manual tasks are being repeated wherever there's a document scanning is required, and then you have to feed some data manually. So all these processes are being automated by the robotic process automation. So that is also one of the SAP's software as a service offering. And with likes of that, in the coming year, this was announced in this year's TechEd event, that is, a product development event from SAP. We even are going to have process automation. So, it's so easy that, the citizen developers can generate and develop the workflows for their own business rather than real coding. So it is a low code, no code platform where you can automate your business and your business processes. So
absolutely. Yeah. That trend is growing, low code, no code, especially as citizen developers and large. It's not just for small enterprises. Large enterprises like Mondelez are also using low code, no code platforms and enabling citizen developers to come up with solutions, and it makes sense as well. Final question from Kirit Chauhan. What's the difference between Erp Hana and Erp 12? Rishabh.
Can you come again what the question is?
The question is, what's the difference between Erp Hana and Erp 12? If you could clarify.
I think by ERP 12, the customer is meaning you to a particular version of ERP, that might be an on-premise version that existed, that is ERP 12. And what we are talking about right now is cloud ERP. So that we have taken the shift from on-premise versions to a cloud system, cloud ERP. So that is the major difference, that that those systems existed in on-premise. This system is primarily in cloud, everything in the cloud servers. So yeah.
All right, that's about it in terms of the interaction with the audience. And we've run out of time, so it's time to wrap up this discussion. We've learned how the cloud offers a new business paradigm for small and medium enterprises. We've seen how it enables organizations to create and use technology and resources optimally while creating a transparent and contextualized view for all stakeholders. For businesses looking at rapid business growth, moving to the cloud is not an option but an imperative. Not only can it offer economic benefits, but also help build credible processes that can also swiftly transform as per changing business and market needs. Before we leave, I'd like to thank all of our panelists for joining us on this conversation and sharing their experiences and lessons. And of course, to our viewers, thank you also for tuning in and enabling a very rich interaction. Till next time, this is Gautam Srinivasan signing off. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kamal. Thank you, Nitin. And thank you, Rishabh, for a wonderful discussion.